completely missed UFC 311. I wanted to watch it. I was like driving around this girl and she was like trauma dumping. I'm like, I can't really just get on my phone and hop on StreamEast, you know? The whole time, because I wanted to make a video like the next day, like looking at, like watching the fights, and I never got around to it, and then I'm like, alright, screw it. I don't want to not make the video. I don't want to miss out on the video, so I know that I'm going to be late to it, but whatever. First of all, just real quick, I made this video in the beginning of 2024, and I want to go through and see how well or how poorly it's aged.
Why is there no picture? It doesn't even matter. First things first, let's just get all the women out of here, alright? There we go, done. Now on to the real shit. I can't wait to be watching UFC 500 where every single fight on the card is like two Dagestani juiced up, no personality NPCs who cut like 70% of their body weight just to have borderline gay sex with their cousin, who's also their wife's boyfriend, who's also their uncle, who's also their pet dog.
That was honestly facts, bro. And I don't get why people are like so surprised that Russians and like Dagestanis took over fighting. Like everyone is acting like this like came out of nowhere or whatever, like Khabib like started this wave and like maybe in the future it won't be like this. It's like maybe people just haven't been plugged in. Maybe people on like the normie sides of the internet like don't ever talk about these kinds of things. But everyone in the racist community, they know Russians are like the toughest people in the world. People were making memes about Russians like taking a bite out of like a raw fish, jumping in like an ice lake to like rescue their friend who's been under the water the whole time, and then get out and then cover themselves in snow and then get inside some shit box of a car, drink, like take a bottle of vodka, start drinking and driving and like not even give a fuck. Like even back in the iFunny days, bro, we knew no one's ever said, oh, glory to Mother America. I'm the first person who's ever said that sentence. Like I'm watching Avatar: The Last Airbender with my friends, and when I think about Ba Sing Se, if Avatar's real life, Ba Sing Se is not China. China's cooked. It's Russia. Russia might have the like strongest pain tolerance like per person on average out of any country in the world. If someone were to do some scientific study, that's what it seems like.
Lightweight fucking fell off. The only ones who are even like a little interesting is like Oliveira and like Arman Tsarukyan. And if Arman Tsarukyan is
This is my problem, bro. Why do they keep these people at the top? Drop them in the rankings.
Standard for what's interesting in lightweight, there's nothing to talk about with this division.
And that's facts. Oh, this is Islam's toughest match. And also we're betting on Islam. This is what I hate about the UFC right now. They're so corporate that like they care so much about name value when it's already been established that when someone like loses like 3 fights, they won't like drop them in the rankings. The rankings don't shift as much as they used to. Back then the rankings used to shift hella. And it would give like a proper chance for like all these other contenders who were like way hungrier to have a chance to like specifically target and take down the champion. But now when you recycle all these guys over and over and over again, yeah, obviously the champion's going to stay on top, and then you can build even more name value of them after that. It's for money, bro. You're supposed to give the champion fights who pose an actual threat to them. Nobody here poses a threat to Islam.
on Edwards. Bro, just get him a fight with Amir Muhammad already. Actually,
And
I
they
don't even
did.
result. They're both boring fighters. How the hell is Cole?
But I've kind of warmed up to Bilal Muhammad a little bit. I was so right about Sean Strickland, dude. But well, I mean, we have to see, because UFC 312 is going to happen and he's going to have another chance at the belt. You can't count him out, because I see a lot of people counting him out because they're like, oh, look at what he did to Paulo Costa. What a shit performance compared to like what Dricus has done to like someone like Whitaker, you know? And it's like, yeah, but I also can't discount the possibility that maybe Sean Strickland was like, him and his team, they were game planning for Paulo Costa, and they're like, okay, we just need to like get through this fight, and then we can get back at the championship. And they were focusing on the championship. They were focusing on Dricus while they were training for Paulo Costa. So they were like, all right, cool. Paulo Costa, easy fight. Just teep to the body, keep him at a distance, hit him, don't let him hit you. I honestly think it's a strong possibility. It's not an excuse, obviously, but I think it's a possibility as to why the performance was actually like not good and like actually competitive.
The end of 2023, that was fucking embarrassing. Like, why are you getting so angry for, dude? I think that was a sign. I think this is the peak of Sean Strickland's career.
That's so facts, dude. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and he could win the belt again and beat Dricus, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm putting my money on Dricus.
Heavyweight needs to fight Tom Aspinall, bro. Tom Aspinall, like, shut the fuck up. Why are y'all dick riding so hard? Why don't you go to headquarters and be like, oh, where's Tom Aspinall? Where is he? I need to suck his dick. Bro, fuck Tom Aspinall. Oi, don't talk about bloke that way. Tom, that's the guy you want to defend? Who the fuck names their child Tom? You know you're supposed to name people after what you want them to grow up.
This is so stupid. I actually like Tom now.
Be. Imagine going to kid, you're like, oh, hey kid, what do you want to be growing up? And they go like, I want to be a peeping Tom. It's my dream. It's my life goal. Tom, like talking Tom. Imagine his parents in like the hospital bed when he's being born, and Tom's dad is there, and he's like, yes, I will forge his body in the fires of war. My progeny will become world champion one day, and his name shall be Tom, like Thomas the Tank Engine.
My mind completely changed on that one. Wait, where's Ilya? Number 5? Holy shit. And then he turned out to be Fighter of the Year for 2024.
Industry plant out of here.
Look, I actually I've warmed up a little bit to Sean O'Malley. I don't think he's so bad. When Merab beat him, everyone wanted Sean to win and they hated Merab. But I honestly think Merab is a better champion.
Bro, why are there 2? No, wait, there's 3. Alex, and there's 3 Alexes in the top, and there's 2 Seans. What the fuck is going on? Are we in fucking Matrix? If he gets another title shot and he doesn't win, I'm never watching another flyweight fight again. But
that's true. That's true. I've never seen him fight, but he might be my favorite fighter.
And if the UFC fucks it up, I'm legit starting my own fighting organization and running them out of business.
I just said that just to say that. I'm gonna do it anyways.
Also, Lucas Tracy is the most boringest MMA commentary channel ever. I don't know how like a single person can stand watching any of his videos. Who likes to waste their time? Couldn't be me.
Hey, now please, just give me my shot.
Bro, I love the MMA community for making shit like that. Okay, so UFC 311. I wanted to watch it with Ishan. He went to like the casino, Harrah's casino, whatever. He seems really unenthusiastic about doing any like fight reactions, like fight cards, anything like that. And it's impossible to find people local to me who are into MMA. Okay, so with the Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal fight, this is something I noticed with Jiri. Like, you can't count him out. Because like all he has to do is like put his hands up and he wins. It sets a good precedent to let him fight Pereira again. I think people should fight each other a bunch of times. I think people should fight a lot. I don't think the most anyone should ever fight is a trilogy. I think you could have like 4 or 5, 20 fights, you know, like have rivalries. Like people in other organizations will fight each other like 5, 10 times. Like they'll fight like 100 times in their career, you know? I think Jiri should fight Pereira next. This whole like cancer girl thing, right? Where he's like, oh, I saw her and she was fighting a real fight and all that stuff and she inspired me. And it's like, it's one thing to say, oh, she inspired me, and then you're like doing it for publicity and all that, right? He was milking that, bro. And I was predicting, I'm like, he's gonna shout her out after the fight. He's gonna bring her to the weigh-ins and everything. Like, she was there like every step of the way. And I'm like, bro, you're doing too much. And then I thought about it. It's not just about the publicity. He needs a reason to be motivated. Because what are you supposed to do after you win the belt? How are you supposed to get motivation after that? What next level is there? Defend the belt? Every title defense after that, you need to find a reason to keep yourself motivated. And I think that's like, he used that as like a mental excuse to motivate himself, in the same way fighters will come up with like random concoctions of stories that didn't actually happen to like start some fake beef with some fighter just to like have a reason to go in there and like be as cruel as they possibly can and try to break them in the octagon, you know? I don't think that like chasing glory at the highest level is enough motivation for Jiri to like adapt his game plan. And honestly, I think he's so mentally like deranged in the head that he probably likes getting hit. He probably likes putting his hands down to get hit. He's like, hit me. I want to see how much I can take. Like, I think most people might look at what he did as like some move to like gain internet points. But I think he's actually, he's getting a lot more out of her than she is out of him. Because it's like, how can you have motivation to defend yourself in a fight when you've literally lost the fear of death? In order to hypnotize himself, maybe that's what it takes for him. I really just wanted to see the walkout. I wanted to see if he used that same song. This is how legends are made. I like to think that he actually really likes that song. It's not just like just put whatever song. Like, he actually like he really enjoys it, and he's like really proud of his song choice. And I'm just thinking like, that would be fucking hilarious if he did it twice. Like if he did it once and then he knew how people would react to it, and then he does it again. If he does it anytime Yuri walks out to that music from now on, if he somehow chooses to play that same song again, I'm putting my money on him. Also, I think not only is Yuri like a more interesting personality than Pereira, I think he's a more entertaining fighter. Like I meant to say that the other way around. I'm kind of tired of Pereira fans, dude. Pereira fans are kind of ruining Pereira as a champion to root for. Like, doesn't it get kind of old after a little while? Pretending that this guy is like some like beyond human source of like divinity or whatever. Like, doesn't it get kind of tired putting someone on like that high of a pedestal like all the time? Like, he knows what he's doing. He doesn't just say that shit just because he's some like fucking Easter Island head, like not human, just repeating the same word over and over again. He's intentionally doing it to make it a trend. But instead, Pereira fans will hear him say Shama and then like go into a trance and, oh, the gods have spoken. Evolve a little bit, you know? Does it not get old? This has been happening for like 2 years now. Now with the Umar versus Merab fight, that was actually super interesting. Everyone talks about like Merab having this like inhuman cardio, like this unbelievable pace, and no one knows how he's able to have that much energy. And he must be on EPO. It's the only way I describe it. When I shoot for takedowns, I'm not even trying to go like get the takedown. I'm just shooting just to shoot. And it's like, that makes so much sense. In business as well, there's that concept, fail fast. Go in looking to succeed, but don't be afraid to fail. The psychological aspect of fighting, it plays a role in your tiredness, in your energy, in your output, in your adrenaline, even in your pain tolerance. Like it literally plays a role. Feeling like you failed at something. But when your wrestling is so good that just the threat of a takedown is enough to make them expend their energy. Bro, you know what that's like? That's like if you're some insanely well-respected law firm because you guys have such a good track record, and you just threaten someone with a lawsuit with no intention of actually suing them. You just hit them with a cease and desist letter or something like that, and they know to back off immediately. And they respect it. And you make them stress themselves out and expend so much energy and time. And even though you had no intention of actually suing them, that's what that is. You build that credibility, and then you don't actually even have to like go for a takedown, like attempt to put everything you have into a takedown. You just shoot and then make them expend all this energy trying to like do everything they can to defend the takedown with everything they have, because they're going to put maximum energy into it because of how much of a threat you are on the ground. And meanwhile, you're just chilling. You shoot for a takedown and you're trying to take him down, you don't get it. That's really disheartening. But even when you get the takedown and you get like 2 punches of ground and pound, and then they're immediately back up and it's back to striking, and maybe if they're a fighter that has an advantage in the striking, it's like, well, shit. That's also pretty disheartening. But if you go in with the idea of like fail fast, like go for the success, obviously, but don't be afraid to fail. Don't let it discourage you. That's a concept that persists throughout like so many different avenues of life. And it's so interesting. This is the first time I've ever heard anyone have this perspective on going for takedowns. And I think it's like a really good perspective to have. That's super interesting. There's so much to learn from that. That's admirable. And I respect Merab for it. And then the Money Moik fight versus Islam. Did I just call him Money Moik? I guess that's his name now. Whatever. There's not much to say about it. He reminds me a bit of Matan Evan or even or whatever. Renato Moicano is like the Matan Evan of MMA. Yeah, I don't even like Arman, to be honest. The fight to make now is Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. If you can market it right, if you can spin it right, which I don't know if the UFC is capable of marketing the way they used to. They seem to be filled with a bunch of greedy people who don't actually give a fuck about like growing the company, but just like lining their own pockets, right? But if they market it right, that's not just any fight. That's Conor versus Khabib 2. They never got Conor versus Khabib 2. I'm sure they offered both of them hella money for that fight, but just never ended up transpiring. But in a sense, Ilia carries Conor's legacy. Dress like him, talk like him, crazy Mystic Mac predictions on like things that are insane and like It's stuff that like you'd be crazy to make a kind of prediction, and then he actually follows through and makes them come true. And then Islam is Khabib's literal protege, fighting in the same weight class, who took over after Khabib retired, and who now has one more title defense at lightweight than any other lightweight champion ever. And just like how Conor wanted to be the GOAT and Khabib wanted to be the GOAT, but in a different era when it meant something a little different, now it means something different. And now Islam and Ilya both want to be the GOATs. They're both, you can spin it as Western Europe versus Eastern Europe. Even though Ilya is Georgian, like he's also he's Georgian, but then he like lived in Spain for like a long time and like trained out of Spain or whatever, something like that. So it's like Ireland, Spain, Western Europe, Dagestan, Eastern Europe. On one side, the brash, loudmouth genius versus the calm, civilized animal. That's the archetype dynamic that you have at play here. Ilya versus Makhachev is Conor versus Khabib too. And if this fight like actually gets marketed properly, this is the biggest fight the UFC can make. This is bigger than Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. And dude, this can't happen anymore. But if Umar would have won, and then he went up to fight Ilya and then Ilya beat him, and then it's like, all right, even though that was the blood relative, they're all blood relatives to be honest with you, but all right, Islam's coming in to avenge him. That fight would be insane. And it's like, you can't do that now. But still, it would be the biggest fight the UFC can make.